The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event. It's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds. A movement of momentum. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC experience mastermind, where purpose is found.
Woohoo, gentlemen! Happy Tuesday. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I love waking up. Well, I've been up for a while, but hearing that song just wakes me up even more. And still until this day, I love it, Sifu. Where masterminds are found. Whereby.
Oh yeah. Listen, I'm super excited for today because we have an exceptional guest with us. Let's not waste any more time and bring her on. Jacqueline, welcome to New York City Mastermind.
Hey, Jacqueline.
Morning. But I'm coming to you from the other side of the world. I mean, other side of the country, not the world. It feels like the other side of the world.
Only 3-hour difference. I mean, it's
3 hours.
literally just 4 a.m. for you. But thank you for being
that's why
with us.
it's going to be a coffee day.
It is.
Well, Jacqueline, I'm sure in another hour or so you'll be up working out. I saw you on Facebook yesterday, and I was so impressed. I did not know that you were so ripped. Good work, young lady. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Yeah, I was a little sweaty yesterday.
Yes, and that's a good thing. That means you're really working on that cardio.
Yeah,
which is important for the heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Remember, it's not just cardio that we have to do. The older we get, we also have to lift weights. I mean, right. Jose's wife is killing it. She is killing it. I am so proud of her. She's also part of Sifu's Mind Body Method. But let's talk about what is happening today. Is about taking action. Yes. And when we consider taking action, not taking action is also taking action.
It's a decision.
It's a decision, that's right.
One tough decision or one easy decision? Jacqueline, how easy was it for you to decide to sponsor the New York City Mastermind Experience in Tampa?
It was actually pretty easy. It was, just a couple things, right? So being able to promote the event and to help bring people on and let people know about it was a big thing. Good morning. And then also just to elevate, it's when you sponsor something, it's about being in the right place and being able to share your message with the right people. So that's, when you asked, I was like, yeah. It was like both an honor and knowing that it would also help, I guess selfishly for me, have an easier way to help impact people. And that's what we want. It's can I share my message with more people, which hopefully will impact more people, which will then, speaking of today, help them take action in the right way.
Absolutely. I love that.
I love how you said it was easy, right? But it's not just showing up in the room, but you're helping to promote the room by sponsoring it, by doing something out of the ordinary. And when I say out of the ordinary, because a lot of people have never seen the benefit of sponsoring, I know Jose sponsors a lot of events. Jose, would you also mind chiming in as to why it's important to sponsor certain things? Not only does it bring your name out in the forefront, but it also lets people know that you care. Just if you don't mind sharing.
Just three main points: authority, visibility, and return on investment, right? Profit. So the biggest problem is that too many people who look to sponsor don't have a product to sell. They don't have an actual physical product or service to sell. They just want to promote themselves about like who their name. But like that's nice and that's like authority, but like authority to what? And what is the next thing? So sponsoring is a very strategic move. It's not just a move. You don't just sponsor for the sake of sponsoring. You sponsor with the intention of knowing that, hey, I'm going to position myself as the authority in the room. I'm going to be the go-to person, the expert. And I'm also going to make sure that I'm positioning my product and service. And at the end, you have to really, truly know how to get a return on investment too, right? Because too many people sponsor and then, I'm not talking about just this event, I'm talking about any event in general. People sponsor and then they get no client from it or nobody to pay into anything that they're offering. And then they're like, oh, well, that was so not worth it. And I'm like, no, it was worth it. Because you're looking at the small, like the game right here. You're not looking at the long game, right? And then everything you do, especially in business, you always got to think long term because one day long term will be here, right? So it's the idea, though, is you got to get good at being able to sell your thing and being able to position yourself not only as the authority, but as also, hey, what I'm selling, what I'm offering, how I serve people is of value, and you need to experience this. So there's a strategy and a technique and a process to do that. So if you know some basic fundamental 101 things on how to convert from your sponsorships are never, ever, ever a waste of money. Now, if you're sponsoring everything, if you're sponsoring the wrong rooms, that might not necessarily be the best thing to do, right? So you have to there's something called being prudent as well. So you have to understand what rooms are worth your while to sponsor and which ones are not. You don't say yes to everything. You're open to everything, but you don't necessarily say yes to everything. And the right rooms are going to bless your business in the right way. And Jacqueline definitely stepped up for the right room, and we're truly blessed to have you as our lead sponsor.
Thank you. Yeah. No, and honestly, that's the biggest thing is that what you just said, Jose, is so important. You can't sponsor everything because you have to remember you're not going to be the right fit for every person. So, right. I've said this a lot recently, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, but being in the room, you have to be in the right room with the right people, because that's also going to be, besides your message, it's also the people that you want to have, surrounding you. Mm-hmm. It really matters. Because if it's the wrong people, you're not going to shine.
Right.
Yeah. I've sponsored so many events. I just lost track of how many events I've sponsored, but I've sponsored a lot of events, and I can tell you they're all worth it, right? I haven't sponsored something where I was like, what a waste of time, because I understand the vetting process. I know, okay, who are the people putting on this event? First of all, they have to have some kind of authority and visibility and influence and these types of things. And who are they attracting in the room, right? Especially if you've already gone to one of their events, in this case ours, you already have a vibe of what is there. Now they're like, oh, they're doing it again, and I have the ability to go again. Okay, this makes sense now to do it, right? So, and I can keep giving you example after example, but I'm telling you, if you know how to vet the person who's hosting or the people that are hosting the event, you have an idea of the general audience that's going to be there. It's never so much the size of the crowd as much as it is the quality of the people in the room, right? That fit your target audience and who you're trying to speak to. And then, of course, it is other factors like, what are you selling, and what are the price points, and what are the packages, and how am I going to position it? Am I allowed to pitch? Am I not allowed to pitch? What does that look like? So there's a lot of factors that go into it. But at the end of the day, I can tell you, sponsorships are a golden nugget that too many people don't take advantage of that is available to you.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a class right there. A class of nuggets. Dropped all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one of the things that we do a little bit differently with the New York City experience, so I should say mastermind experience, is that once you become a sponsor with us, we are going to promote the heck out of you to everybody who's around. So one of the things I'd love to do right now is go ahead and share a message from Jacqueline. Take a look.
Stop networking and start building relationship capital. I'm Jacqueline Strominger, the founder of Leap to Your Success and the co-founder of Missing Link Network and the host of Unstoppable Success podcast. Here's what most people get wrong. Success doesn't come from collecting contacts. It comes from building the right relationships intentionally. Through Missing Link Network, we bring high integrity professionals together in mastermind driven communities where collaboration replaces cold referrals. And through my private one-on-one work at Leap to Your Success, I help entrepreneurs, executives, and leaders gain clarity, sharpen strategy, and leverage the right connections to accelerate their growth. If you are ready to stop networking randomly and start building relationships that actually move the needle, connect with me. Because the right network doesn't just open doors, it changes everything. Your life, your business, your success.
We let you think about the last word there, your success, and then she was quiet. You know what was important about that? I'm also, I became an area director with Jacqueline for thinking about the progress that we have to continually do. So if anybody out there in the Long Island or New York area want to be involved in Missing Link Network, reach out to me, reach out to Jacqueline. Anybody in the US who wants to be part of it. I believe in what Jacqueline is doing so much that I said I need to be part of it. And I became an area director. So Jacqueline, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for being such an exceptional human being. And I'm just glad we're in each other's world.
Likewise, I mean, and thank you for stepping up. What we're doing, with Missing Link Network, it's relationship capital, and it's building people. And the mastermind experience, it's taking that and helping people every single week work on their business, make connections with each other, and not just pitch themselves what they're looking for. It's deeper relationships. And it's amazing when you get people together and they talk about ideas and concepts, and they start opening up and expanding what they're thinking about. The actions that happen from that, it's beautiful. It's amazing what you see happening in the room. And if you've never been to, a mastermind, whether it's this weekend in Tampa or a weekly one, it's incredible. You know how you grow personally and professionally. It's hard to extrapolate the words, but the success happens. And just the other key thing is, it's not going to happen overnight. It takes work. You have to keep feeding it. I feel like it's, if ever anybody's watched A Little Shop of Horrors, Feed Me Seymour, right? Like you have to keep feeding it. You can't just show up and expect stuff. You have to work it.
Big shout out. Nice. Big shout out to David Hurley was on also.
Yeah, the Resistance Band man. Hello, Dave, all the way from Ireland.
All the way from Ireland.
Workout tomorrow morning. But yeah, Jacqueline, you said some awesome things, and I love that Sifu is supporting as an area director. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. I'm not surprised. I mean, you're a leader of leaders. Jacqueline is pretty clear. I felt that vibe when I first met you in where was it? Where were we in?
Farmingdale, New York.
Yeah. So I'm trying to keep my dates in order here. So anyhow, you said something in your commercial there that I saw. You said clarity, right? That you help people get clarity. And I had a wonderful mentor of mine who told me, Jose, clarity without action is just entertainment. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oof, man. Clarity without action is just entertainment. And today we're talking about taking action. Right? Taking action is super, super important. So, and truly, I believe that most people actually fail not because they are not smart enough or good looking enough or young enough or old enough and wise enough. They fail because they hesitate. They fail because they procrastinate, they overthink, they overanalyze. People are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions, the perfect storm. And they're like, oh, I'm waiting till all these things are in alignment, and then I'm going to take action. And folks, I am sorry to burst your bubble to tell you here this morning, today, on Tuesday, January 20th, that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. It's a rarity. If it does happen, and it has happened to you, that's called a random act of luck, okay? Because the reality is things are never going to be perfect. And action is really the currency of results. If you want results in your life, you must take action. That is part of the process.
Jose, you made me think of something really pertinent to what you were saying. You made me think of the person who is packing their bags, and all of a sudden they start with 1, then they have 3, then they have 4, then they have 5. And because they were packing, they missed the train, they missed the bus, they missed the plane. And all of a sudden, all this packing, thinking that you have to be perfect in order to get to this position, didn't happen. For those people who say, I'm gonna call people out. I'm gonna say, Chad, Tampa, my neck of the woods. Let's see you in Tampa. Let's actually come into the room that we're gonna be in, the room that Jacqueline is sponsoring, the room that where magic is truly gonna. And when I say magic, you have no idea what I mean by magic until you're in the room, because we are going to have an exceptional, not only a magician, but oh my gosh, so super talented. Danny Z is going to be in the room with us, and he's going to treat us to something that you'll never, ever seen, because he had the game plan and he shared it with me, and it's going to blow everybody away. So just for that alone, you need to be in the room. But Angeline, we'd love to have you in the room as well. So clarity is everything. And
Clarity.
when we say, I'm going to be there, and then later on, don't answer the texts or the emails or the phone calls, what happened?
That's human nature.
It is human nature, right? It is human nature, because we say one thing, but we do another, right? It's almost like a parent who says, do what I say, don't do what I do, right?
Well, I tell you, just to chime in on what everybody's saying, I'm relatively new to this whole environment, and it's because I said yes. This time last year, I had no idea this environment existed. But starting the beginning of 2025, I said I was going to say yes to different opportunities. And because of that, I am with you incredible individuals on this podcast. And I'd say to people that are not taking action, action is a consequence, but also not taking action is a consequence as well. And you have to understand, in 2026, it's about taking action. It's about making moves. And if you do that and you surround yourself around people like this, it can't help. It's like proximity is power. Just being around people that are doing things and excelling and are doing what you're trying to do will allow you and force you to step up your game, so to speak. So 2026, get in those right rooms, because the right kind of rooms will elevate you exponentially. I know, because last year at this time, I was nowhere in this type of atmosphere. And because of one decision I made, I am sitting here with you incredible people. So the proof is in the pudding, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to share, to what Jose was also just saying, our if you don't take action, and Lancelot, what you just said, you took action, but a lot of that also comes from, we having the clarity. But if one of the key things, as Jose said, you can't wait for everything to be aligned, but what you have to know is what your values are. Your values are going to drive and know with your clarity. And if you can align your values with your choices, not everything's going to be aligned, but if those things are aligned, if you can say, okay, this event is aligning with my values, I can take action. So knowing your values is going to help you take the action and align with your clarity. You'll say yes to the right things, and you'll say no to the things that don't align. But then when you also do take the action, one key thing is we have to track, right? We have to track what we're doing, because if you just keep going and you're not looking at what you're doing and stepping back and saying, oh, you know what? That didn't work, or I need to tweak this, you might miss something, right? We're always monitoring and adjusting.
And if I can expound on that, also understanding your purpose
Yep.
is key. I've been blessed with knowing my purpose since I was 17 years old. But what the purpose does is it pulls you along, because you always know why you're doing something. The why has already been answered. And for most of us, the why has to do, I think, with trying to help others to elevate themselves. And that's the greatest kind of purpose to have, because it always allows you to be the best that you could be so that you can help others do the same thing. So it's about finding that purpose. And if you can find the purpose, it will drive you to be in rooms like this. At the end, I speak from a sense of experience in it. So I can, speak to others because I know how I feel and what it's made me feel like. So purpose is important, just to add to what you were saying, Jacqueline.
Very true.
So Lancelot, I want to piggyback off of what you said earlier. I've got to give you some kudos, because you stepped into the world of personal development and live events and masterminds and speaking engagements and the networking, all the stuff that you were not involved in. You've been involved in many, many other high level things that you still do, but this is like new to you, 2025, like you said. But so I'm a firm believer that action creates the clarity that we're looking for, right? Not necessarily I need to have the clarity in order to take the action, because that's where people end up overthinking, overanalyzing. A lot of people get stuck in that trying to find clarity space, and they never actually pull the trigger. And they may at some point, but that'll be 2-3 years later. And during that 2-3 years, somebody else has already done the thing they could have done, right? And I think the fact that you said, I'm going to do this, right? I'm just going to step in and take the action to experience this world. And it's giving you clarity along the way, because you're seeing what you need to understand about the space and where you want to play and where you don't want to play and what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. Because again, a lot of people say, well, once I'm clear, once I have this extreme clarity, then I'm going to take the action. And again, I'm a firm believer, and I teach this all the time, that clarity comes from your actions. So you got to take the right actions, and sometimes they'll be right, sometimes they won't. And this is part of the learning process. There's not a failure unless you're on the ground and don't get back up, right? There's something called failing forward, right? Failing forward is part of the process, and part of entrepreneurship is you have to be willing to fail. And the reason why we overthink and overanalyze is because we don't want to fail. We want to make sure everything is just right, and that never happens, right? So again, momentum is what we're after. Momentum in terms of results, in terms of profitability, in terms of the right relationships, in terms of visibility, in terms of authority, in terms of leadership. But you don't think your way into momentum. You move your way into momentum with your actions, right? Your actions are what creates that proper momentum, and the momentum that you get all of a sudden gets that lightning strike, that epiphany, I understand now, this makes sense, the clarity that I've been searching for and praying for and journaling about and meditating on and getting coached on, and all these things is now showing up. but it started with what is that action that needed to be taken, right? Because every step you take is going to be the appropriate step for the next step. We're not going to see the staircase. We're just going to see the first step in front of us, right? That's typically what happens. So the question I have for anybody who's watching now, whether you're live or whether you're catching the replay, is where are you waiting for clarity instead of taking the next obvious step in terms of action, right? Is it maybe your ticket for Tampa? I don't know.
I'm going to jump in as well because I think action creates your identity. Are you a person who takes action, or are you a person who just watches and then later complains about the fact that you did not take action? So you don't become confident and then act. You act and confident follows. Every action is a vote for who you're becoming. Who do you want to be 10 years from now? And then think about this, if you don't invest in yourself, who will? Who will? The reason we created New York City Mastermind Experience is to bring people together who are action takers, people who make a difference in the world. Do you want to be in the wrong room with people who just don't take action? I mean, they took the action to be in that room, but then they get in the room and they just sit in the corner and not talk to one another and only hang out with their friends and see what's everybody else going to do. Or do you get into a room like the one we've curated, where you actually step in and other people not only pull you in, but you get to pull them in as well, and it becomes symbiotic, if you will. It is energy. When the right energy is there and you combine with that energy, man, it expands huge.
Man, I gotta jump in again. I'm sorry. You talk about energy. And that's one of the other things that I experienced in the rooms that we've created, but also the rooms that I stepped into for the first time. Mm-hmm. It was the energy. And then Gio, who's been to all of our events, said it one time, it's the vibrational energy and the frequency that like-minded people have when they come together. And when you experience it in real time, it is absolutely mind-blowing. I experienced it at our events, but I also experienced it at Born to Risk when we all went down. And when we hung out at that restaurant afterwards, mm-hmm. and you could just feel, that was the first time. And then somebody explained to me what was this that I was feeling, this electricity of like-minded people being together and just communicating and vibing and giving and taking. It's one of the most incredible experiences that I've ever had. And it's almost like a drug. You get hooked, but it's a good drug. And I'm saying to the people that are on the fence, if you just make the move and get around like-minded people in 2026, it will change your life. Take it from a person that I've done a lot of different things, and I've mastered the art of reinventing myself. But this is a whole nother level of who you are, and it's exciting. I mean, just the vibration and the frequencies. I just had to say that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. A lot of people wait to take action. So ready is a feeling that comes after movement, but you have to move. Excuse me. So action does sharpen your clarity because now you're clear on your next step. And sometimes it's faith and belief, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but you don't know what's going to happen in an hour from now. I mean, you can have plans, things change, but action does sharpen your clarity because now you say, I'm going to do this in an hour. I'm going to do this next week. What you should be saying right now is, I'm going to be in Tampa come February 27th through March 1st. But inaction also is a decision, right? It's not choosing something, you're choosing comfort. And comfort has a cost. think about regret.
Oh, not doing is choosing comfort.
Oh yeah, not doing it.
Okay,
Comfort has a cost, because when you like, I'm going to sit on the couch, I'm comfortable, instead of going to the gym. Going to the gym is effort. It's look how many times you can lose when people think of going to the gym. Oh, wait a minute, I got to get in my car. I got to start my car. I got to go to the gym. I got to find a spot. When I get there, maybe I don't know how to use the machines. Maybe I don't know how to do this. Oh, who am I going to see there? Oh my God, people are going to judge me. All these different things. Guess what comfort is? Sitting on the couch and watching something on television, or eating something that's not necessarily good. That's comfort. That's why they call it comfort food, because it doesn't do you any good. Comfort food does nothing for your health. And so if you're comfortable, maybe you need to stay there. But regret, stagnation, and unrealized potential, oof.
That's painful.
Yes.
Think about this. Years later, people regret what they didn't do.
Unrealized potential.
Try far more than what didn't work. So for anybody, and Jose, thank you so much for all the kind words you've ever said about the program that I run, which is Sifu's Mind Body Method. But it riles me up when I see people not taking action on the most important part, is their life, their health, and their future. You take care of your health, you're helping your future, but you can't have a future without taking action on your business, on yourself, on your identity. So just thought I'd share that as well.
What you were just saying, Sifu, I keep thinking about the first time you ever go and do something, right? Like you decide, you're going to, at every age, right? So when you are super young and you're going into elementary school and you have to step into that first room as kindergartner or first grade, right? There's those fears, but you get over them. Then middle school, right? Then it's a totally different, like maybe it's new people that you're meeting, high school, college, like those are all things, right? And sometimes you're pushed into it because you've got family. But when you want to go do something yourself, like the first time you ever took like a class, I remember the first time I ever took a spin class. Like I was like, I've never done this before. I don't know the people in the room. I don't know how to use the bike. I don't know where the seat is. And then you do it once and you're like, oh my God, that was a great experience. Or take a boxing class. Like you have to put yourself out for that experience and you take that action. And it's amazing what it'll do to light up. It lights you up when you do something. And even if you didn't enjoy it, you still said to yourself, you know what? I did it. I gave it a try. And if we don't keep doing that, then it's stagnation. And what happens in stagnation? If we don't use things, we lose things. I think about longevity, right? And everybody talks, it's like one of the big things, right? We're talking about mobility, it's, in fitness and things like that. I feel like everybody, it's like new buzzword. It's been around for a long time. But I think about the people who've been older, like, the older, like my family, not that everybody's the same way, but if you don't get out and move your body and you don't use your brain and you're not always learning, right? We always say, always be learning, then things, again, we lose it. My grandfather lived to be just shy of 101. Wow. I swear that he did it because he got up every day and he walked. He walked 3 miles every day. God. I mean, he's always moving.
Wow, 3 miles at 100. That's impressive.
Yeah, and the only reason why I think he's not here is because unfortunately he fell when it was raining and then he caught, and that was a bad experience and he ended up getting pneumonia. Otherwise,
you're all invited to my 100th birthday.
I was just thinking that. I was going to say, Sifu, it's funny you should say that. Sifu's having a 100th birthday and he's inviting all of us.
Not anytime soon, by the way.
Yeah.
In 50 years.
Yes.
Don't speed up the process, though, Sifu. Be careful with this speed.
Never will. Every moment is so beautiful.
Precious. That's right.
Every moment. And if we don't smell the roses, we will only imagine it through someone else's eyes. But we have to do it. So think about your greatest accomplishments. If you think about your greatest accomplishments, they were uncertain at the start. You took a chance on something. So every major win began without any guarantees. Jose, when you started Connected Leaders Academy, there was no guarantee it was going to be as successful as it is today. So the common thread wasn't certainty, it was commitment. And you made a commitment. Jacqueline, you made a commitment. Lancelot, you've made a commitment.
Consistency.
But you moved before the outcome was clear. I mean, momentum truly changes everything.
And belief.
Oof. Yeah. And faith, belief, faith, they're all so connected. Energy, positivity, belief in yourself, first of all. And so one aligned action creates energy. Energy creates opportunities. Opportunities create breakthroughs. Momentum doesn't come from motivation. It comes from what?
Action.
Movement and action. That's it. Movement and action.
Yep. Structures, inspiration fades. System. Well, I believe it all comes down to your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm teaching and pushing now, is to create that mindset, which is, it's work. It's small intentional movements that you do consistently that create massive internal shifts. But it starts with that mindset and rebuilding that mindset every single day. Because once you have the mindset, you just take that and inject that into anything that you do and you can be successful. But it's about building the mindset, and it's having structures and systems set into place that you do consistently every morning that will 1% strengthen that mindset. And then once you've done that, it's nothing you can't do, because now you're not fearful of the unknown, which is what happens to a lot of people, is they get fearful of what is in front of them because they've never done it before, as opposed to just walking through it. And you walk through it when you have that proper mindset, I believe. That's how I roll. So
I have a news for everybody.
Really I'm going to talk to you guys about what I wrote down. Go ahead.
Sure. No, I was just going to say a news flash for everyone that's watching this, and it may have been something that hit you at some point already. And for some of us, it might be the first time you hear it, but I would say it's a common thing that is said across many rooms. And if you've never heard this before, then you're not getting into enough rooms. And rooms don't always have to be in person. They can be virtual as well, right? But you got to get yourself in the environments of growth, right? And we all need a growth plan. And I hope that you have a growth plan. I hope that personal development is a part of your day-to-day activities. If it's not, then you're missing something huge, right? So, but the newsflash here is very simply, information without implementation is just head knowledge, right? So the newsflash really is that this podcast that we're doing right now, any podcast for that matter, is not going to change your life. Sorry, Sifu. That's the reality. It's not going to change your life. Books that you read, including my own book, any book that you read for that matter, is not going to change your life.
No.
The event in Tampa, Florida that we're putting on is not going to change your life. No event's going to change your life. These things don't change your life, folks. What changes your life is applied knowledge, okay? Because you can just learn and learn and learn all day and still be broke. You can learn and learn and learn and still be miserable and depressed and anxious about, robbing Peter to pay Paul and having more month than money. You can learn and learn and learn and be super knowledgeable, yet not be creating the impact that you should be creating in the world of what you were designed to do, right? So it's super, super important for us to understand that if information was the solution, if information alone worked, guess what? Everybody with internet access would be wealthy today. Oh my gosh. I'll leave it right there.
I love that. So yeah, Jose, you're right. No event, no book, no person can change your life unless you take the action. So that's
Right.
the implementation. So knowledge without implementation is just shelved, right? Like all the books behind you, they mean nothing unless you take the action. And you've taken action on so many of those books. And so some of the notes that I put down, and why Tampa is an action environment, right? It's not a consumption place, and like what you just talked about, it's an immersion, it's proximity, and it is execution on what you experienced, right? And you don't just learn, you need to move. So the room accelerates results. And the room that we're creating, it's a result-driven room. It's with action takers, it's with people who know how to move. And why would you want to be in a room or in a space where, can you imagine if you went to the gym and nobody was using the equipment, but there was tons of people in it and they were just looking at each other, waiting for the next person to take action? How would that feel? That would be kind of odd, wouldn't it?
I've actually seen that.
Okay.
It's bizarre. I mean, it's bizarre when you see people go to a gym, right? And they spend more time walking around talking to people than they do actually working out.
No, I know, but I'm saying every single person. I mean, like, let's say there's 300 people in the room and nobody's touching any machine. They're just not even talking. They're looking at each other. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So there's no action. So being around decisive people rewires how you think. If you see somebody at the gym and they're doing an exercise and you're like, oh man, look at the results. I can see the results on them because of their body, the way they've trained. That helps rewire how you think. So you borrow belief. You have to borrow belief sometimes. Sometimes your belief is not strong enough. You have to borrow belief. You have to borrow standards and courage from the room. That's the room we're creating. So come borrow. If you don't have enough of it, if you need more, come to the right room. And the right room shortens your timeline. It shortens your timeline. If it's going to take you by yourself, sitting in front of your computer, on doing the books, reading this, doing that, listening to a podcast, if it's going to take you 3 to 5 years to accomplish that thing, but you came to the room and you met with the right people, and it can take you 3 to 9 months, why wouldn't you? So you can't build anything big alone. You can't. So growth requires, are you ready for this one? Exposure. It requires feedback, and we're saying it left and right, connection. And that's what growth is, right? So Tampa is where conversations turn into collaborations. New York turned so many opportunities happened in our last event. Relationships were formed. Jacqueline, you came in, you didn't know Jose. You've created a relationship with Jose. You didn't know Lancelot. And there's other people that you've created relationships because you were in the room. Opportunities are happening for you because you're in the room. Can you speak about why it was important for you to come to New York? I'm going to put this down.
You know what? There's two things. Number one is because you never know who you're going to meet, right? And as you said, it's getting in the right room with the right people. So for me, where I like to go out and meet other people that I've never met, because you never know when an opportunity is going to arise. You know, I'll share, you know, I was on a podcast 2.5 years ago. And because of that one podcast I was on, I met a gentleman and we co-authored a book, right? I just actually met him for the first time. You just don't know. And so then you take the step of thinking, okay, well, who are the people that are in the room? So you decide, okay, do I want to be around those people? Yes. Are some of those people going to be people that might inspire me? Yes. Might be someone that, are there other people in that room that have additional knowledge that I might be able to move the needle? Yes. So if it answers a bunch of questions, you want to be in the room, right? So for me, it was, I'm going to New York. I want to be surrounded by people that are not only like-minded, but they're action-oriented, and they are people that inspire and have and continue to have success. And that's going to help me move my needle for greater success and have a greater impact. Who are the people that if I can have an impact on somebody else, if it's one person, I've done something. And it makes a difference. And then it also helps you realize, if I go to New York, what are some of the other things that I can do? And then that's also, Lancelot has said this, the consistency, right? Like, I want to create consistency with the people that are in the room. So you have to have some of those daily actions. But getting to New York was almost like, for me, it was, that stepping stone of jumping out. I've done a lot of stuff locally here where I live. I'm like, I want to get outside. And in order to get outside of where I am, guess what? You have to actually open the door, walk out the front door, and move, right? You're not going to, staying. Our houses are great. They're beautiful, right? They harbor us. They keep us safe. But we're not meant to just be huddled inside. We're meant to connect and be with people. So walk out your door and go places and meet people.
Now, why do the people?
Go ahead,
Sifu. You want to say something?
There you go. Mic drop.
Go ahead, Jose.
Okay, I wasn't giving you the floor, but no, you said some great points, Jacqueline. Very, very strong points, and it's super important to get out of the house. You're right, right? Like, I remember in the beginning when my older brother, I have two older brothers, one younger. One of my older brothers was like struggling to find a significant other for some time. And I said to him, listen, your significant other is not going to knock on the door and deliver a package, right? The significant other is not going to come trying to sell us, siding for the house one day randomly. You're the one, right? It's not going to happen. I mean, could it happen? I guess it could happen, but it's very unlikely. I said, you're going to have to get out into the world and go meet this person, right? And so he embraced that, and now he's married, right? I'm not going to take credit for that, but I gave him that advice, right? But I think that's important to understand. But what usually stops people, so the same in business. And yes, we are in a virtual world now. We're in a virtual world where you can grow a business from home, which is what I've done with Connected Leaders Academy. But the next phase of that, like, you can do phase one from home. I would agree with that. Anybody who says, well, I can grow a business from home, yes, you can. But can you retain? Can you scale? Can you do powerful things by avoiding the in-person, getting outside of your home? And the answer, in my opinion, is no. I think it requires you to do more, to create more, to put yourself in a position of discomfort. And the thing that stops a lot of people from taking action is a four-letter word. Can anybody guess it here that's live on any of you three? Can you guess the four-letter word that stops people from taking action?
It does begin with an F, an N, and an R.
Fear.
Yes. Fear. Fear is the grand word that just stops people from doing the things. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of looking foolish, fear of I can't lift as much weight as that person in the gym, fear of like, oh, I don't look as good as that, girl over there, or hey, my calves look like bean poles compared to that guy that has those mammoth, calves over there. I don't have any sweatpants, and I definitely don't want to show up in shorts. Look at my calves, or like, oh my god. So you get what I'm saying. You have this fear.
Has an issue with his calves. So just kidding.
Actually,
Jose's the one with the massive calves. He's looking at the other people.
I have soccer calves, just so you know. But no, where I got the calves thing is actually from Arnold Schwarzenegger, because Arnold Schwarzenegger, his story is that he would wear shorts intentionally everywhere he would go because his calves were just terrible. And
he also wore a crop top because his abs were not showing that well, so he wanted to be embarrassed on purpose.
You know the story, it sounds like. So yeah, so he was huge on that, but he intentionally showed his calves because he knew that he had to like bulk them up, right? That was part of his process. But I say all this to say that confidence is a side effect of action, folks.
Mhm.
It is not a prerequisite. It is not required. Confidence is not required. Right? You have to. If you take action, guess what happens after time? You start to gain confidence. But don't wait to have the confidence to take the action, because that you might be waiting till 2038.
Yeah. Confidence does not come in a cup or a bottle, right? You have to create it. It is that, not everybody walks out being an expert right when they're born. They have to work on it, and you have to build it. And that takes action and doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I wanted to share this book again. I don't know if you picked it up yet, Jose. The Dan Sullivan Question, right? The guy's brilliant, by the way. And he's like me. He's looking to live past 125, right? The guy, he's in his 75 or 78 at this point, or 80 something, and he's still doing workshops. He's still doing all the things. But one of the questions, and it's so well put, that I'm going to ask everybody: what would happen in your life, or what would your life look like a year from now if you took decisive action today? Joined us in Tampa, bought your ticket today, texted 516-242-8732, or went to sifurafael.com/NYC. And what would it look like if you didn't join us in Tampa? Not when it's comfortable, when it's necessary. So we have to go look in the mirror and say, what are you doing today? What are you doing to impact your own life? Like Jose said to his brother, I mean, it could happen. There's a lot of, especially if you order from Amazon, there's a lot of, but is the right one to the door? That means you have to wait by the door. Remember in the old days, you would wait by the phone, hoping somebody would call, and then the phone wouldn't ring, and then you would be disappointed. So don't be disappointed. Join us in Tampa. We guarantee you, not only is your brain going to be blown, your eyes are going to be sharpened, but the growth that you're going to experience is going to be expanded more than you imagined. But you also have to believe, and you have to take action when you're in the
take action. You got to do the work also. That's important. Yes.
Yeah, love it. I would say, first of all, to your Amazon analogy, and then we can go back to the calves. I'm just kidding. Try not to laugh too much because I start coughing. Going back to your analogy or your comment about the Amazon delivery person, right? Or delivery lady in this case, for my brother. That wouldn't work. That strategy wouldn't work because these days Amazon people don't even knock. They just drop the thing and take a picture and leave. Like I'm like, really? What's going on here? And Uber Eats, when you order Uber Eats like from a restaurant or whatever, and they deliver it on your door, they don't even knock. They just put your food on the floor. Isn't that ridiculous?
Really?
But anyway, yeah, it's shocking to me. But when it comes to going back to today, right? I would say a very important concept when it comes to movement and taking action. Movement and action loves deadlines. So it does, because the results in life are showing up at the pace of your speed. You want to make sure you're taking massive action. You're taking quick, decisive action. Leaders are decisive, folks. Leaders are decisive. And it's okay to say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to say yes to Tampa. If you said no, I would respect that way more than if you were to just drag your feet and say, I'll think about it and never decide. Right?
There's a couple of people I have in mind when you said that.
I would rather take a no, I am not coming.
I'm a big boy. I can handle a no.
Yeah, then you know what? I'm going to think about it. You know what? I'm going to try to make it work. I'm going to see what I can do. Let me get back to you or circle back with me. Whatever the verbiage is that is not a solid yes or no, because then you leave yourself in limbo. And the reality is there's the 11th commandment, thou shalt not fool thyself. And we are fooling ourselves. We are basically fooling ourselves into thinking we're actually planning to go, when the reality is we are just not strong enough to say no. And we're also on the other side of that coin, not strong enough to say yes. So we leave ourselves in this limbo. So then what happens is by the time we're followed up with multiple times for the 7th or 8th time, or by the time we are like, oh, should I go? No, I can't go anymore because this came up. Or you know what? Oh, now I'm double booked because I already committed to this other thing over here. Or you know what? Oh, well, I would have committed sooner. And it's almost like a breath of fresh air for this person to say, oh, now I can say no with relevancy because look, Sifu, like if this wasn't the case, I would have been there in a heartbeat, right? So again, it's like we need to give ourselves deadlines. So if you're even considering Tampa, ask yourself, okay, I'm going to decide yes or no by this date and put that date on the paper and commit to it and start reverse engineering. What do I need to figure out, whether it's financial, whether it's another thing on the calendar, whether it's a family related conversation, whether it's whatever, right? Or a combination of many things. Say by this date, I'm going to have this all figured out. So what do I need to figure out? But you have to put a plan behind it, and you got to put a deadline behind it. And too many of us just live in limbo because we know darn well in the back of our minds that we're planning not to go. We just don't know how to say no. And for some people, it's like they do want to go and they plan to say yes. They just are also fooling themselves because they still know they're not going to go, even though they intend to go. Right. So it's just like you got to be real. Like, being real is important these days. You got to be real, and you got to be to yourself, because what happens is every time you lie to yourself, because when you lie to other people, that's cool, but you're also lying to yourself, right? Every time you lie to yourself, guess what happens? You're training yourself to be that kind of person. You're training yourself to be somebody who's wishy-washy, somebody who's indecisive, somebody who doesn't know how to say yes, but also doesn't know how to say no. And that is not going to serve you well in business and or life. So I would say very simply, if you are going to win, show up in Tampa and be a part of this amazing event, which I encourage you all to show up to, it's time to put a deadline. It's time to be decisive.
That's a good one.
Say, I'm going to be there. Okay. And it's okay. And we'll take a no. I'd rather take a no than take a we'll see and never hear from you again.
But the other key thing, what you just said, Jose, what really matters is, as you keep saying, if you keep being that wishy-washy, it's something that you're saying to yourself. And over time, like what we say to ourselves matters, right? So Lancelot, right? Like what, your mindset starts with the actions that you say to yourself and to others. So if you keep saying those things that are wishy-washy to other people, then you're saying the same things to yourself. So you have to decide, are you going to not be wishy-washy, or am I going to be a decisive person? What am I going to do? It starts with the words that you say to yourself and to others. So what are you telling yourself?
That's right. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Big shout out to Kim that's on. Kim Crowley. Good morning, Kim. And absolutely, Jacqueline, speaking truth.
So let me share something with you guys, because we do have the hotel.
Ooh,
and I'd like to share that with you guys. Can you guys see the hotel?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so why is it not sharing? I thought I did. Let me try it again. And it's a beautiful hotel, by the way. And they even have evening stuff. So in case you want to stay a little longer, It says stop screen. That's weird, but it never showed it. All right, let me stop it and just try it again. I'm going to share screen. And the screen is this. Okay. Can you guys now see it? Is that a yes?
I just see your beautiful faces.
Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, here we go. Here it is.
Oh,
now you see it. Okay.
Now
there we go. Ooh.
Yeah. How you doing? So that's where you enter, and so there's a lot of look at that.
Oh, that means I got to bring my bathing suit.
You got to bring your bathing suit. We're gonna have some fun. This is a big hotel, and guess what? Breakfast is
included. That's Embassy Suites. It's included.
That's right. Embassy Suites. Breakfast is included. But here's the cool thing about that. I'm going to stop sharing for now. The breakfast is not the one where you come up and you get these things in a plastic bag or cereal or you make. It's actually there's stations you go and you get your breakfast cooked for you.
Yep.
So do we know how to take care of you? Of course we do.
Embassy Suites is perfect. I've been to them. They're wonderful. Wonderful.
So
hey Gabby,
if you have not gotten your hotel room, and I know Jacqueline, I got it because Jacqueline got her airline booked right ahead of time, and what also wound up happening is a couple of other people have already booked their flights. We didn't even have the hotel yet, and I know Debbie did, right? She booked her flight a month ago, but like a week after we announced that she already booked her flight. So Debbie's going to be joining us there. And the other thing is now the hotel is on our website. So go to sifurafael.com/NYC. You can click on the hotel, book your room. The rooms are $50 more if you went on your own, but because we have a booking link, it's cheaper. So make sure you book with us, your hotel. You're going to get it a lot cheaper, but we have limited rooms. So guess what? Indecision will cost you.
Yes, it's going to cost you extra.
Truly.
That's called procrastination tax.
I like that.
Procrastination tax. Yeah, I don't like that tax, by the way. That's why I don't procrastinate. I make a decision.
Very avoidable.
For example, I'm going to share with you guys quickly, and I know we got to go going.
Yeah.
Every morning, I take a cold shower. I don't care how cold it is outside.
Yeah.
But I do one of two things, right? By the way, I take a hot shower first, and then it goes into cold because I'm going to shock my body. I want to shock my body so that it knows and it goes through the change, gets rid of all my toxins, all that good stuff. But I don't go, now I'm going to make it cold. Now I got to turn the faucet. Oh, no, it's going to be cold. Oh, no, none of that. There's no this procrastination about what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. It's going to be cold. And here's the crazy thing.
It's still hard.
This crazy mind of mine, I love it. It's so good. At the moment, I am in a hot shower. And then I go, poof, and I turn the faucet. And in less than 3 seconds, it is freezing cold. And it's that excitement of holy crap, it is cold. Right. It could be 3 degrees outside, and in New York right now it's very cold. I took one this morning. I went to the gym by 4:15. I was at the gym this morning. I came home. I took that shower that I was telling you about, but I made the decision. I didn't go, should I turn it now? Should I wait? Should I count to 10? Should I think about it? There was no thinking. It was a decision in an instant. And that's how you need to live a life where life gives you opportunities you never imagined. Sometimes you got to take the plunge.
All I kept thinking about was see, say, do.
That's right. I want to expand. See, that's great minds think alike, because I read that somewhere about 6 months ago, and I do it, but sometimes not consistently, because the cold just really is traumatizing for me. and I do it, and when I turn it on, it's always like, you know what I mean? Until this day, I just something about it, and going to school in Maine. But I know that once you get it over with, it's very exhilarating. But it's just thinking about that water coming in is just, for me, traumatizing.
Lancelot, I've got to say, because I take cold showers too, I've got to say, it's traumatizing for everybody.
Oh,
it's not Lancelot. Everybody feels the same horrible sensation in the beginning. In the beginning, when you're first doing it, it's not pleasant. You know, it's like drinking coffee for the first few times, right? Like who actually like, man, this is so delicious. Like the first few times you drink coffee, it's like, why do people drink this crap, right? And then it's the same thing like a cigar. You smoke a cigar, you're like, oh my gosh, this is disturbing. Like, why would I smoke a cigar? You know, and I can give you example after example after example. So same thing with a cold shower. It just requires you to say, I'm going to do the thing. Take the action. It's going to be traumatizing. I screamed like you wouldn't believe the first few times I did it. And then I did it again and again and again and again and again and again. And it gets to the point where you train your mind to make it not be effective. As you know, over time, now I take cold showers and I'm not screaming like a banshee, right? My wife will still be.
I do what Sifu does. I have the warm shower and then I turn it to cold.
Well, that's what I do the same thing. I've read that.
I do it for about
how long do you do it? Sifu, how long do you do it for? And Jose, how long do you do it for? I do it for 30 seconds. Huh?
3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
seriously?
I'm a 5-minute guy.
Get that. 5 minutes?
Listen, for you to get the benefit, it's anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes. Anything after that is no good for you, right? Anything under is you have no effects. So if you can listen,
I do
30 seconds is you're not getting the effects. So you just got into this space where you're speaking more, you're doing all these things. So now you got to get into the cold shower space. Go for 3 to 6 minutes, 3.5. Sometimes I do 4. The reason 3.5 works for me is because I'm like, okay, but here's the thing. I don't get out and I'm like, oh, I'm freezing. No, I get out and I actually feel warmer than when I went into the hot shower. My body has accumulated all this extra heat. And here's the crazy thing. When I turn it from hot to cold, steam comes up, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
So you're doing this for when you do that, it's for what? 3.5. Is it a therapeutic? Is it come from, because the 30 seconds is just for the mental? It becomes
therapeutic, yeah. Because
I do it for the mental.
You're releasing a lot of toxins out of your body. You're doing a lot of benefit for your health. Also, think about it. 30 seconds, you didn't give your mind enough chance to understand what you're going through and then learn how to go past it. Yes, Win Huff, he's incredible. The guy, he goes into Alaska without a shirt on. You know, come on, the guy's a little bit beyond.
Yo, Jose got a book for every damn thing.
Yo, he does.
You the man, Jose.
All right, guys, listen. I got to go to physical therapy because my shoulder is not really there. So I got to run. But, man, what a great conversation. Jacqueline, we're going to run your commercial for the next couple of weeks, but we don't want to run it without you. So can you come back?
At this time?
Would you believe it?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Notice how he's asking you live on. He's asking you live and asking.
And you heard like I'm taking action, so I am saying yes,
Okay,
right?
Jim,
Like I
that's
didn't
it.
even really think about it. It
Good
just
Jim.
as long as I make sure that I'm in bed by like 8:30, you know, because it is 5 o'clock in the morning.
What
Now.
Yeah, we know. Listen,
Okay.
Jim, thank you. Jim is a new friend of mine. He's in Peru, and he's in
Oh,
the
is that what
Peruvian
I said?
Indians, and everything is it's cold,
Everything is
but not always, right? Because Peru is a beautiful country as well. So let's and yes, Jose does prove the facts a lot of times.
Yeah.
I know. Jose,
thank you.
you need to send me those books, those titles. That you
Yes, I shall.
All right, you guys. God bless. Have a beautiful
Have
day.
a great
And
week,
if you
guys.
need to do anything today,
Great.
take action.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Great conversation. Great conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Bye, Jacqueline. All right, fellas, take care.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Take care, everybody. See ya.
Sifu Rafael. Last Jose, it's cold bar. Turn it up, let's go. Turn it up, let's go. Let's go. No time to wait. Bass too loud and the vibe too great. Let's go. Full on fire. Every move hit like a live wire. Let's go. Stepping bold. No fear here, just hard to go. Let's go. Lights on blast. We don't hold back. We move fast. Get the flow, we don't miss. Whole room lit like a first kiss. No cap, no stress, no chill.